I would tell y'all to wake up, but I think this will do the job a little bit better.
Rise and shine.
Give me your way, 'cause it seems like you are through with it.
As usual, we have so much to talk about, but one of the kind of crazy things that happened this week is the passing of Elijah Cummings. He was 68 years old. Like I said before, a lot of people know him because he was the chair of the House Oversight Committee, but he has a long history of a lot of like civil rights work, a lot of human rights work, basically a lot of progressive things happening in Baltimore. People over there really loved him. I wrote an article about his life on patreon.com/AdrianExpression, so make sure that you go over there, sign up, check it out. Let me know what you think. Let's get right into it, okay? Cash Doll, since you released your album Stacked, and I've been following Cash Doll for a long time. I like her because she just talks a bunch of shit, and she's just a boss ass bitch, and just unapologetically a rich bitch. I love it. But it's really cool to see her growth and to see her come out of that bullshit contract. And I mean, even from Run Me My Money, I was watching this girl. So yeah, she released Stacked. I like it was quite a few songs we had already heard, honestly. But I like So Amazing. Y'all already know I like Ice Me Out. On Site was a cute little song with Trey Songz. Mobbing, I love that shit. Cheap Shit, Doing Too Much. Busted is cute. Where you get it from? I get it from my mama. Where you get it from? I get it from my mama. I like that. She had Tiana Taylor on there, Summer Walker on there. It was a cute little project. This is very much, it's Cash Doll ain't giving us no J. Cole. she ain't giving us no Wale type shit. You know what I mean? She's giving us getting ready for the club, turning up, boss bitch, leave that lame ass nigga alone type shit, and I loved it. All right? I'm on the edge of that stage, and I'm falling with a fan, that's true. I thought this moment was so cute because Gaga a fan was so excited holding Gaga, and then Scarlett took a tumble off the stage. But what's the cute part about it was the fact that Gaga was like, it's okay, like everything's okay. She hugged the fan and everything, and they sat on a piano together. I just thought it was cute. It went viral. It was a cute little moment. A lot of people were kicking and laughing, but as long as they were okay, as long as Gaga and her fan was okay, I was like, all right. But the fact that she was like, oh, just forgive yourself, it happened. I love that she didn't embarrass his ass in front of all those people. Dr. Julian Da Silva has declared that model Bella Hadid is the most beautiful woman in the world based off of the science of the golden ratio of beauty or whatever. Now the golden ratio, now apparently second in place was Beyoncé. So now if you're wondering what the golden ratio of beauty is, it's apparently a measure of physical perfection reportedly adapted from the golden ratio that artists and architects used during the European Renaissance to map out their masterpieces. To get the ratio, measurements of the face are taken and calculated. Apparently on the perfect face, the length of the ear is equal to the length of the nose, and the width of the eye is equal to the distance between the eyes. Girl, they're breaking this shit down. It's giving me very much so AI facial recognition tease. I apparently saw something that they're trying to develop this AI that will scan people's faces for the most suspicious looking people as they're looking through items at the store. It's giving me very much that. I just brought that up really quickly because they said Beyonce was second place. I was like, okay, girl. Let's just move on to something that's more important when it comes to Beyonce. She's apparently getting the Executive of the Year award by Billboard. She chose Steve Pamon, who is the COO of Parkwood, because we share a similar philosophy about business. She said, you don't have to be an asshole to get things done. It was important that I found someone with good character as a human being, with values whom I could trust, and someone who understands that my priority for my company is always creativity over commerce. So all you girls talking about, all you girls focused on sales, and all you girls just understand that ship has actually sailed, and Beyonce said, I'm about my art at this point, and we're moving right along. So there was this documentary that came out in the UK about Meghan Markle and Harry's trip, I guess traveling around Africa and stuff, and there was one specific part of it that went viral. It was Meghan Markle being asked about her time basically receiving so much negative press when she was was pregnant with her, and also with her newborn, and she said, yeah, pregnant women, especially when you're pregnant, you have a newborn, you're vulnerable to these types of things. And she said it was a struggle, it was hard, and you saw it on her face. It looked like she wanted to cry. It was crazy. So after that went viral, there was this whole "We Love You, Meghan" hashtag that also trended. I think it was the #1 trend, if I'm not mistaken, for a while. When you look at her face and when you looked at how she was speaking to the interviewer, you could definitely tell why Harry was going so hard and writing letters to, like he was somebody's principal, to these to these newspapers and to these tabloids. You can definitely see why Harry was going so hard for her. It seemed like she was really going through. So that y'all check that out. Tell me what you think about it. I hope that things get better for her, because no one should have to go through all that. But that's just, she didn't do anything but sit there, get married, and live. And it was crazy to me how the press treated her. So let's talk about something crazy. Sallie Mae, they made headlines. Sallie Mae made headlines because it apparently flew 100 of their employees to Hawaii to celebrate the fact that they made, I think, $5 billion in sales. Let me see, this is coming from, where is this coming from? I think this is NBC. This was a record year, apparently. $5 billion in student loans Sallie gave out to 374,000 borrowers. So now, while Sallie Mae employees are jet setting to Hawaii, all right, there apparently 1 in 5 Americans don't know how the hell they finna pay their student loans off. I think the student loan debt total is $1.6 trillion. It's just a mess. So rightfully so, when this news came out, they flying to Hawaii because, oh shit, we got a bunch of people to borrow for these crazy ass college costs, and oh shit, we're fucking them over with these loans, but let's fly our ass to Hawaii. When that news came out, everybody was like, nigga, what? Everyone's like, are you serious? And somebody said, that's why they ain't getting a dime from me. I said, all right. It's crazy because some people can't be playing with these lenders like that, because they will garnish your check. They will take your taxes away from you. It's craziness. So yeah, just in case you were wondering what was going on, and I know a lot of us got student loans to pay back. I'm like I always say, they can check on my accounts, and if they find the money, that's good on them, because at this point I don't know where the hell it's gonna come from. I don't know where it's coming from. So so just in case you were wondering, they calling your phone asking you for shit, it's because they're paying for their martinis while they sipping on that shit in Hawaii. All right, it's because they're paying for the flights. If you had a bill collector calling your phone, it's because they're paying for the they're paying for the flights to Hawaii, girl. It's vacation. So as you may know, Mark Zuckerberg is getting his ass dragged and roasted. Like, I think I talked about this already. He was apparently meeting with conservative leaders, conservative talking heads, but he was already being dragged because he was out here running ads that were false, that were based off of, there was no evidence to uphold the claims that these conservative ads were making. They're false, right? CNN, for example, networks like CNN chose not to run those ads that were based off of false information, but Zuckerberg is running this shit anyway. I think, like I've been saying, I think that he does not want this administration or whatever conservative leaders to sanction Facebook in any way, so he's trying to appease them. He's trying to kiss their asses, and of course, since everyone is talking about it, he had to respond. He said, people worry, and I worry deeply too, about an erosion of truth. He's talking to the Washington Post here, but he said, at the same time, I don't think people want to live in a world where you can only say things that tech companies decide are 100% true. And I think that those tensions are something we have to live with. In general, in a democracy, I think that people should be able to hear for themselves what politicians are saying. This is just really, it's a lot of bullshit. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's giving me very much so freedom of speech type of tease. But honestly, if you're saying the wrong things, if you're saying false things, and you're cooking up propaganda at this point, that's what it is, you need to reevaluate your standards. Yes, tech companies should decide. Tech companies already decided what comes in front of our faces and what doesn't. But if these major networks have to go through a vetting process of literally these ads have to be based on truth, then it should be the same thing. It should be the same thing when it comes to online media. Like, stop playing in our faces, Mark Zuckerberg. We're not stupid. We're not stupid. Stop playing with us. Oh, don't you want to see what your politicians are saying? If they're saying saying that the earth is shaped like a donut and pixie dust can cure cancer, I don't want to see that bullshit, okay? Because it's simply false. But here he comes with this propaganda machine. It's not surprising, but that's what's going on with Mark Zuckerberg. Since we're already talking about the political arena, Nancy Pelosi dragged the shit out of Donald Trump apparently, and he tried to kind of, this picture is everything to me. What makes this photo so interesting is the fact that we all know Donald Trump hates powerful women. He hates, so this woman is standing up in a room full of men and pointing her finger at him. I know he can't stand it. And also look at these men to his side. Look at these men, just so ashamed that their career, I know they probably feel like they worked so hard to get to this place. Their career has come to this. They standing by this buffoon no matter what he says. We really hate to see it. He tried to kind of switch it around and change the narrative. He was the one who posted the picture first. He said, "Nervous Nancy's unhinged meltdown." And what Nancy Pelosi ended up doing was using that photo as her header. This is coming from Business Insider. The meeting took place on Wednesday after the House voted overwhelmingly to condemn Trump's abrupt and widely criticized withdrawal of U.S. troops in Syria on October 6th. The retreat has essentially left the Kurds, who were U.S. allies in the fight against ISIS, open to military attack from Turkey, and has given ISIS strength in the region again. So no matter how he tries to flip the narrative with tweets like this and also tweets like this, no matter how he tries to flip it, we all see through it. And what was even more hilarious to me is that Mick Mulvaney, who is acting as he's the acting chief of staff, he went up there in a press conference recently and literally just said, "Oh yeah, there was a quid pro quo." Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Apparently Republicans were in these meetings like, are you serious? There were officials from both sides of the aisle was stunned. Mick admitted that the fact that Trump wanted Ukraine to investigate the Democrats was a part of the reason why this military aid was withheld. And so a reporter was kind of shocked. And he said, to be clear, to be clear, what you just described is a quid pro quo. It is funding will not flow unless the investigation into the Democratic server happened as well. But that was crazy. Either way, I think this administration is just pushing to see how far they can go, how much can they get away with. At this point, they're just admitting the shit in public. Mick went up later and said, "That's not what I said. I didn't mean that. There was no quid pro quo." It's just like, sis, you were up there talking. I don't think you realized what the hell he was saying. I don't know. Either way, that's what's going on in the world of politics. Hopefully they hurry up and get his ass out of here while Nancy's talking about we ain't gonna hold no vote. I'm so tired. Get his ass out of there. We have to think about that and all these candidates up on these debate stages. It's a lot. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and make sure that you have an amazing weekend and a good goddamn evening.